It's time for the big mommy of Call of Dragons, the Queen of Thighs, Madeline, the Sword of the Kingdom. So stick around in this video because I'm gonna explain everything about her and what makes her so damn good. Let's get started. What's up guys, MEOWER here back with a brand new video. In continuation of our Commander series Revamped, we will be discussing Madeline, the big mommy, the big queen of Call of Dragons, and one of my personal favorite commanders in this game, in Call of Dragons. Madeline is an interesting commander since she is infantry and tank, but she filled so many roles and has so many uses that as soon as you have the ability to unlock her, you should do whatever possible and to get her as fast as possible. But before we get started, if you like content like this, please drop a like, share it with your friends, subscribe. It really helps me, it really helps the channel. Without further ado, let's dive in. Madeline has the infantry, PvP, and tank attributes. However, our builds will be a little more tanky because of her skills. What are her skills? That what makes her so damn valuable? What makes her so valuable is that first of all, her first skill, Blessed Blade, grants her a big shield, which has a 1,200 damage factor, or rather shield factor, and increases her physical attack by 20%. But that part is not as important as the shield. She has a physical damage dealt bonus, which makes her a really big threat if she stands in your face. Plus, her maximum legion capacity is by 15,000. She grants a lot of HP to infantry, which really needed because infantry's highest stats usually leans towards defense and HP, so HP makes her even more valuable and a little bit more counterattack wise to make her a little bit bigger of a threat. So that if you are being attacked, you will not be as melted as fast as others. And her last skill, Piercing Gaze, when her shield is broken, she deals a certain amount of physical damage and gaining resistance, reducing all damage taken by 10% for 4 seconds. And finally, her Awakened skill increases the damage factor. Oh, because I already have her awakened, so I can see. But before I had her awakened, it was only 2 surrounding. Oh yeah, I gained their damage resistance. Oh my bad. The damage resistance is the part that gained the 10% damage reduction is the part gained when she's awakened. Now, as for her builds, this is the build I currently run and have the most success with. I ran this in most wars, and my Madeline March was almost unkillable, and she would also dish out a lot of damage. So let's review. We go the standard attack, defense, HP, and then we use the tank tree as our primary. So we go defense, we get more move speed, we get some rage generation when we're being hit because you are an infantry march after all, so you're gonna get hit regardless. So the more chances you get hit, the higher you're gonna rage cycle your march. So theoretically with infantry, because of the changes they had and the introduced skill they have, you can basically rage cycle a lot of oh, it's not a skill, it's not written here, but they did add a change where the more damage you take as an infantry, or rather the more sources you get hit by as an infantry, you gain even more rage. I'm not sure if this part overcaps the 220 rage you can get per second per turn in this game, but I do believe it overcaps it because from what I've noticed, the more you get hit, the faster your rage generates, and it kind of goes cycles really quickly that you can theoretically, if you're tanky enough, your shield might rarely break as long as you're cycling the rage skills and such. But let's resume the build. I go for Unyielding Spirit just to reduce, to have a chance to reduce skill damage by 8%, which is big. You can go Impregnable Defense, but I don't like it because it's only for the first 10 seconds and 5% defense is not worth it, while reducing 8% hero skill damage taken is. I go for the standard HP, go for the standard hit to gain Vigor, to increase my HP by 5%. And then I increase the shield by another 5%, and finally finish off with receiving a little bit extra sustain here. You can go for this one, but if you are already under 50%, you're gonna melt anyway, so it doesn't really help, but the extra sustain does add up in longer fights and such. That little sustain might help you win a fight, especially when you're little bit more healthy, so it can keep you topped off a little bit. Next, I use the infantry tree as my secondary. I go for defense, march speed, a little bit extra attack. You can go for assassins in waiting. However, again, if you're less than 38% HP, you might as well just die and keep going. You don't receive any heals on Madeline unless you're running Garwood secondary, but even still, 5% extra healing is not worth it. So just a 4% extra normal attack damage does add up pretty nicely. And finally, we increase the defense every time we cast a rage skill. So essentially, your entire tankiness persona comes from the casting of your rage skill, and the entire playstyle of infantry is just to be up in their face and take as much damage as possible. The second build we go for is as follows. We're going to go for overall attack. We're going to use the infantry tree as the primary. Now there is a third build, a glass cannon Madeline build, but I don't recommend that at all. But I will show it to you afterwards. We're going to go for the standard infantry tree, get the march speed, get the normal attack damage, get the extra defense, and then we're going to go for. We're not going to go for increased damage to infantry. We're going to go for taking less to cavalry. We're gonna go for a little bit of extra. Actually, we're gonna go for generalists because it seems to be the best. Increasing 1% of each stat is amazing. Then the little bit of 4% counterattack that will save you, but a 5% boost for every single stat is pretty great. And then finally, we're gonna go for the extra shield, just to make her shield even better. Exchange duration buff, not that good. But I guess it's the only one because it might increase the shield effect by another 1 second, increasing the shield from 4 seconds to 5 seconds, which can be pretty significant. We're going to use the tank tree as our secondary here to feed off it. We're going to get the extra march speed. We don't need to reduce the counterattack damage taken from infantry since you only attack on march. We're going to go for being hit, encouraging dance here. And then finally, we're going to go for unyielding spirit. And the last point, we'll put it, where should we put it? We'll throw it on another part here, on another encouraging dance, just to get that extra little boost of rage. Now the last build, this build is extremely experimental. I don't recommend it at all. It's a more of in-your-face build. We're going to run the standard here, but instead of taking defense, we're going to get march speed just so we can reach our targets faster. We're going to use the PvP tree as our primary. We're going to go for normal attack damage on the field. We're not going to go for hero skill damage since you don't do any skill damage. And we're going to go for extra HP. And then we're going to go for Army of Valor, extra march speed, a little bit more damage here, a little bit more damage here, and then finally the defense break. And then we're gonna go for infantry defense, more march speed, just so you can arrive faster, a little bit more normal attack damage, and then finally we're gonna go for furious. And the last point, we'll put it in the counterattack. Now this build is extremely experimental. I don't recommend it at all, but if you want to try some strange builds, go for it. But my favorite, and in my opinion, the most viable build on Madeline right now in the current meta and how she's used and how she functions, especially when paired with Nika, is this build, because this is the build I've had the most success with, that I've ran some tests on it. It's the best build I've had success with because it works in PvP, it works in tanking in PvE, it works in rallies. It does not work in garrison as much, but the garrison tree, I would say you would go for the infantry talent tree as your primary. Or you can also run this, but it will not give you as great results. It will be a toss-up between preset 1 and the experiment. So you can try it and see what feels best for you. As for Madeline's pairings, she has only 2 to 3 viable pairings. Madeline Nika is the best and currently the meta of infantry. As soon as you unlock Madeline, Madeline Nika will give you the best results on running infantry. There's also Madeline Garwood, but Garwood is such a useless commander that you should never use him as soon as Madeline and Nika are in your arsenal. And finally, there is Madeline Bakar. Since Bakar is a budget Nika, he does the same damage as she does, and he has the execute and a little bit extra defense reduction and a little tankiness. But yeah, how you can obtain Madeline? You can obtain Madeline from the Wheel of Fortune event. This only appears on day 2 from the Strongest Lord event. That's pretty much the only method you can obtain Madeline for now. As for leveling her up, you can skill her up from buying the daily deals as soon as she appears there, and from the VIP daily logins, you can use them to also get tokens for Madeline. And yeah, that is every single thing you need to know about Madeline, the big mommy of Call of Dragons, my favorite commander in the game, and in my opinion, one of the most versatile commanders that can be used in every single situation without fail, and you will still get results on her. And yeah, that's it for the Madeline guide. If you like this video, please drop a like, share it, and please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your bell notification to not miss out on any future videos in the Commander series and any other guides or content I release. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Meow meow.